shearing day, and this is Jubilee on the mat. She is nearly 2 years old now, and she's just about to be shorn by Colin, helped by Sam. So you can see she's laid out with the ropes around her feet. The ropes are just the right tightness to keep her skin stretched. They don't inflict any pain on the joints or anything like that. And that means that alpacas have thin skin, and as you shear them, if the skin isn't smooth, then it can get some nasty cuts in it. So that's one of the reasons why they're laid down like this rather than shorn like a sheep where they sit them on their bums. So she's an Appaloosa. She hasn't got the finest of fleece, but she has got the most amazing markings. And this is the chance we get to see the fibre come off them. The fibre, if you like, is the hardest from an alpaca. Makes the most amazing shearing wool and things like that. Alpacas in general don't like to be restrained, so they generally rather have the rope restraint than be hugged by people. But Sam's taking good care of the head there. Always turn over the legs, not over the back. Otherwise you can cause twists to the internal organs. And the blanket, imagine laying a blanket over the back of the animal, comes off first. This is the good fibre. This is what you make into spinning. You spin up to make knitting yarn and use for making clothes and things like that off it. Okay, and then that all goes separately, and the rest of the fibre now comes off and is second. So we've got her here with this bag over her neck. The bag is a sandbag. As you can see, it's not heavy enough to completely stop her moving. It's got sand at the end. So the weight's at the ends, not in the middle. It's got fibre in the middle. And that just is enough to make her not lift her head. She could if she wanted, as you can see. So she's lying there really nicely, while Colin can now safely cut around or trim inside her legs. And he's going to come up and do her under her tail. We don't want any cuts around there, do we? Especially not if she was a boy. Luckily she's not. And look at the size of that tail. All this fibre coming off the tail. And we need that off because otherwise the tail can get messy and dirty. But if you notice, he doesn't cut the tail as short as he cuts the rest of the fibre. And that's because their bums get sunburned if the tail fibre is cut too short. So that's her tail trimmed up. Now for the other leg. The total shearing of the alpaca takes about 5 minutes. And people wonder how stressful it is. Well, we shear the pregnant alpacas, even when they're overdue. It doesn't seem to make them give birth. And usually within about 5 minutes of being shorn, they're up and they're going off. Well, they get up straight away and they go off and they eat. So they don't need sedation for this. If I had any that were really stressed by it, then you could sedate them, but it would take longer for the sedation to wear off. Obviously your vet would need to be here to give them sedation. And they really don't seem to mind this. We mind it much more than them, I think. So Colin's just going to finish off the neck. And then once he's finished it off, the ropes will be loosened. And then taken off her feet completely, and she'll just walk out from here, back into the field with her herd mates. And I shall try and follow her. She may go quicker than me because she hasn't just had her knee done. So there he is, there's the neck, and Sam is picking up all the fibre that's coming off. This is second, so you wouldn't want to wear that next to your skin, it'd be a little bit coarser. Now she's getting a nice haircut. This method of shearing means that she's safely restrained, there's no risk of injuries to her eyes. Bag back over her head, keep her head still while Colin does the rest of it. If you ever see Colin's knee going across the neck, the weight will still go down through the ground because alpaca necks are fragile. The last thing you'd want to do is to give an alpaca a neck injury. So things like going across the neck, or even where he's like got his toe resting on her neck, the weight is still on the ground. Really important. The last thing we want is an injured alpaca. So she's about to be released, so they loosen the ropes, move her back down so that she's ready to get up, and then she's going to get up. The bag will be the last thing off her head, and then she's been turned around. Off she goes. Go on then, Jubilee, off you go. Outside, I'm going to follow you. There we are. Off she goes. Back to the field, straight back to the field. She's looking for her friends. She knows where she's going. And you may not be able to see it, but she's really not bothered by this. And there's all her friends, all looking completely ridiculous now they've been shorn. I'm not going to be able to recognise them. Just enjoying the fact it's a nice warm day. There they are. And they're saying, you look ridiculous. And I do tend to agree with them.